Welcome to Wame. Make sure you have your glass of water nearby so that you can hydrate during the practice. Today we are at the end of September and working on the 19 movements and one pose that we've been working on since mid-August. So after a month, I hope everyone is pretty good with the practice. Today we're going to do a slow but even practice of Tai Chi, beginning with rocking motion, inhaling up to the balls of the feet, releasing the heels, coming back, releasing the toes. So bending in the center, almost straight legs as you lift, dropping down and lifting. So feel this rocking motion. Back, down, up, the heels lift. I'm going to move back so you can see me a little better. And notice how long the spine is. Feeling the center of the spine right here as it seems to lift up towards the ceiling, but also feeling that the chin is parallel with the floor, not lifting the chin. So long spine, cervical spine will be connected then to the thoracic spine, which is right up here, and then down to the lumbar spine, which is here. You want to feel long in the body and feeling a connection of the crown of the head, really at the back of the skull, all the way down to the tailbone. This is rocking motion. As I bring my palms back, I turn them to come up towards the heavenly energy, and then I turn them back to move towards earth energy. This is something that comes with these ancient practices, pre-martial arts, where the monks at Shaolin were said to be figuring out how to begin moving from basic meditation seated to standing. And there's a connection here that goes all the way back to the trade routes from India to China. As far as we know, it's all legend. But this is a very slow meditation practice. Connected to the Dantian, which is here, your energy sea or ocean, expansion, contraction. You might want to place your fingers right on your navel, your belly button, and feel that expansion and contraction. That connection to the lowest Dantian, or energy center in the body, also connects to the weight shift. So as you move forward and back, breathing in and breathing out, you're playing with that energy sea as it expands and as it contracts. So just being aware of that, I hope today will help you with your breath and with your practice. This first warm-up practice of rocking motion, because it works with 4 weight shifts, forward, back, up and down, is pretty much covering all that you need to know about how you might want to connect that here to the Dantian. And over a long time of this practice, especially if you do maybe 9 to 36 times a day of this one movement, you'll begin to feel the shift working with your feet and with your breath. So we're going to ground that now. So one last time, when we ground, we're on an exhale or a contraction. Double grounding is when we inhale again and then we exhale back down. That helps settle the energy in the body and help you feel that the energy is moving down through the soles of the feet. Next move. Bird flaps its wings. Lengthen through the spine first. Bring your feet out into a V. And inhale here. And release down. But let the heels rise. Inhale back. Exhale. This bird flaps its wings. Looks exactly as it feels, that you are the bird. And on the third one, you're going to try to fly. One wrist circle forward. We do this 2 more cycles. Last cycle of bird flaps its wings. And back to rest. Our next move is a forward back shift. First, you will drop down, shift laterally towards the right leg, bring your left heel forward, and then you're going around a platter, around the platter, outside that left leg, and back outside the right leg. And the palms are right about here, all the way across your second Dantian, which is at the heart and lungs. So breathing in here as you expand, and breathing out here as you contract. That expansion occurs pretty much here, right there, and the contraction occurs right here. You're moving across the hemispheres of the brain and bilaterally to the other side of the body. Shifting in front, moving to shift and back with the breath. We've been looking at the Qigong breath, which occurs on the inhale through the nose and the exhale through the mouth. The jaw is slightly dropped to accomplish that, and the tongue partially touches the upper palate in the mouth. The tip of the tongue, at least for me, seems to remain by the lower teeth. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to talk. But there is a portion of the tongue that is still touching the upper palate when I breathe in and when I breathe out. Two more on this side. And bring that foot back in. Ground through the body. Exhale. Shift to the leg you came from and bring the other heel forward around the platter, your right side. See if you can support this movement with your upper spine. Without dropping the fingers very far down. So keeping that platter level. And last one, I think we're at 9 now. You don't have to count today, but I'm going to approximate 9 moves on a side. Inhale and exhale, grounding. Around the platter variation, you'll be shifting first laterally, preparing your palms right here, and then picking up a ball of energy by your left shoulder and dropping it center on the exhale. Feel the inhale come in there and the exhale there as those fingers drop on the platter. This is around the platter variation. We'll call this 8, and we'll do one more, which will make it the magic number of 9. Bring the foot back in. And ground, release down. Notice how your feet are still in a V, so that if you're bending those knees a little bit, they feel spongy, not tight. Shift, prepare your other side. This heel just drops easily there. It's just light as anything. And it doesn't have to go out very far, but enough so that you can feel a shift forward and feel the shift back. I'm going to move back a little bit so you can see my front foot. So if I purse my lips to breathe in and keep that same position coming out, that's another way you can look at the breath. That the American Lung Association recommends. I wouldn't do this outside, but if you want to learn where your breath is, this is a good substitute for the Qigong breath. Just don't overdo it. Two more. Last one. And ground. Double ground. Double ground is when we ground twice. The next one is bass drum. Big drum we're going to prepare here. There will be polarity between the palms, meaning they will face each other all the way through. This heel is here. This leg is insubstantial. This leg that is slightly bent is substantial. There's more energy in it. And as we come forward to pour the energy into the front leg, it gently bends and the back leg straightens. So that's called pouring the energy into the front leg on the inhale, and then pouring the energy into the back leg on the exhale, and that leg bends. The bending and straightening is all part of this, and it works with the Dantian. So as you inhale and expand, or expand, same thing, and you exhale and contract, it'll work with that shift. You want to ground fully in front, continue inhaling until you get here, and then start exhaling back. And that will help ground the back leg. Bass drum. This is the favorite move if you want to learn how to do a front back weight shift. This is great because the body is going forward and back, and you're not tempted to go to the side in the wrong way. So feel this shift. It's just going forward, and then it's going back. There's basically no lateral movement. When palms move to the side or do something different where you're tempted to follow the palms out, if it's a forward back weight shift, you want to be conscious of this forward back movement, which is why this is such an important primary weight shift here that we have in bass drum. So now feel the polarity between the palms. They seem to be energizing each other. And here, as the palms move up, is the inhale. And as it moves back and down, that would be the exhale or contraction. That's basically how your energy C works. It works to help the weight shift. Last one on that side. Bring the foot in, ground. Laterally shift, your both knees are slightly bent, so you can just go this way. Prepare your drum, prepare your body to be long. Release that right leg, just the heel, and then start slowly bending that leg on the inhale here. And slowly exhaling back and bending the back leg. So it's a very slow inhale through the nose and a very slow exhale through the mouth. You're on your right leg now. I'm mirroring you, so if you're facing me from your camera, your front leg will be your right leg. But yes, I'm on my left leg because I'm mirroring you, which is typical of the leadership position I'm taking today. And last one of bass drum. Bring the foot back in, fully ground. Preparing for daughter on the mountaintop shift laterally. Let the left heel move forward and the palms come up on the inhale and down on the exhale, and your left hand is close to the heart, as is mine. 2 circles connecting down through the center. The wrists are crossed. Right here at the heart. Here's the inhale, you're moving it up towards heaven, and here's the exhale, the palms are moving towards earth. In Tai Chi Chuan, that's called zipping down. Because this is a soft practice, we don't make a big deal out of this, but I think it's important to connect to the energy C. And you can only do that if you know when the wave is getting bigger and when the wave is coming to shore, right here. And last one of daughter on the mountaintop. Other side. She starts in the valley. She comes to the top of the mountain on your right side. Feel the softness of the wrists, the elbows, all of the joints. Let the wrists release. Even as you cross the palms, feel how they gradually move down and release. Right here, notice this, and then just go, whoa, let it go. It's a lot of letting go in a moving meditation like this. And one more, right here. And ground it. Exhale. Prepare for daughter in the valley. Shifting, preparing, and moving. Notice how the back heel will lift as you move forward to the front position, and then the front toe lifts as you move back. Daughter in the valley. Last one. On your left side. Bring the feet in, ground. Prepare for your other side, shifting down, laterally shifting this way, preparing your right heel, and then moving from the mountains down into the valley. Inhaling through the valley, exhaling over the mountains. Breathe in through the nose, release the jaw. Breathe out through the mouth. See if you can do that. That's the Qigong breath. It doesn't make as much noise, but it's very active. Two more. Last one. Fully grounding. double grounding. Inhale, and then exhale. Slowly. And then you can release here if you like for a moment and just let everything relax, your fingers, your body. Recheck your posture often to make sure you're long through the spine and not like this. Okay? The next we do is carry the ball to the side. And I'm going to move over here. We go across 3 times. First, we wind up. Dropping down, winding up. Both knees are slightly bent. Then you pour your water into this foot. Theoretically, that's your grounding foot. And that allows you to release this insubstantial leg. And then we move towards it through the dantian. If you feel it by blowing, that sometimes helps you get the breath. I'm going to do it with the Tai Chi breath, so it won't be so noisy. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. So, it's kind of a easy breath. Whatever breath you're using, just make sure it's easy for you. Winding up, we're going the opposite direction. So both legs are spongy here. This leg is no longer spongy, this one is. And now you move to sponge up the other leg. And then you ground again. There's a lot of bending and straightening in this. So when you watch this, there's plenty of time to straighten the legs and relax. There's one right here. There's a moment right in here that's going to happen as you inhale. Both legs are straight, and then you slightly bend. And one more group of 3. Then release. Then go back. And last group of 3. 1, 2, so those are 3 shifts here. 3. And this is a grounding. So that was carry the ball to the side, and that's followed by push, pull. Shifting laterally, bringing your left heel forward, and then exhaling and inhaling back. This is a reverse breathing move. meaning that most of our forward back shifts are inhaling out and exhaling back. But this one, you are exhaling out as you push and inhaling back as you pull. And there's this beautiful sense of the wrist releasing here to bring the energy back. So enjoy that. This move has also been called giving and receiving energy. And bring the foot back in and ground. Shift. Prepare for push-pull on your right side. And exhaling forward, inhaling back. So how do you feel that when you move forward? You're exhaling and inhaling, expanding. Coming back. It's right happening at the dantian. Or you could just feel it at the upper chest, which would be your second dantian. In some ways, that works better for me because your lungs are here. It's just that when you expand the lungs, you can feel it in your abdomen. So you might feel this expansion inhaling down here, but the contraction here, if you are into three-part breathing from yoga. And one more, push-pull. And draw the front foot back for grounding. And preparing now for pulling in the energy from the farthest star, possibly in the universe, whatever universe it might come from, your imagination. This is an inhale. And this is an exhale. Watch the back foot, 45-degree angle. That'll help you ground. Pulling in the energy is around the platter, upside down, because you're pulling in the energy from the fingertips. Inhaling, exhaling back, last one. On that side, grounding, shifting, preparing for pulling in the energy on your right side. And move. You might want to feel the muscles in your upper back to some extent supporting this so that you don't drop the fingers too far down without lifting the shoulders very much, but there is a connection to the upper back. Feel the circle. So beautiful. Pulling in the energy through those fingertips. Two more. Last one. And ground it. Let's double ground. You're moving energy and it's hot outside. Let's get some water. You have it nearby, I hope. You want to hydrate. In meditation practices or singing, there is a lot of hydration necessary. The water actually helps your brain to not get a little bit dizzy at all, I hope, because we are moving slowly. So if you need to sit at any time during the practice, please feel that you have the freedom to do that. The next are the Taffys. The palms pass each other without touching. And then you ground between movements. Notice how your feet are in a V so that your knees are directly over your ankles. Inhale here, exhale as you pull the palms apart. This is basic Taffy. There's energy being pulled as the palms cross each other. And then you recover here, inhale and exhale. Pull the palms apart. Recover. Inhale, exhale. One more set. A set is this way and that way. The hand underneath is the direction you're going. And then you fully ground. Let's double ground it. The next is anchor Taffy. So you're going to bring your left hip forward, and your left hand will be underneath as you do a forward back shift with the Taffy. And then you do a side to side shift with same hand. Your left is underneath. Your right hip moves forward, your right hand is underneath. Pull the Taffy, release the front toe, bring the leg back to ground, and then shift to the side. It's all continuous. Soft and connected. And the spine is long. Make sure that you keep that spine long and connect it to the length of your shift so that you're not dropping the head or the body forward back. And last one now. And fully ground. Let's double ground it. Notice how your feet are in a V. Even with your knees close together, that should be safe. Because you want to make sure the knees always track right over so that you're not going beyond the big toe and the toe next to it. All right, the next one is circles Taffy. I'm going to come forward a little bit, but not too far. It's a side to side shift, and you drop down 3 times. On the 3rd time, you connect it with your wind up. So it's a sync rise. Palms are forward as you circle the Taffy, and now on the 3rd one, you did your wind up and then you pull it. Dropping down twice. Now on the 3rd one, start the other way. Circles Taffys are all attached. So here you go. You ground briefly, and then you start again. It's just a short grounding right here. And then you go back. Let's do one more set. And then return home on this next one. And ground. Beautiful. Our 4th Taffy is Perpetual Motion Taffy. And it involves a heel step. It also involves a hip turn. So lengthen through the body first, make sure your feet are in a V, and then we'll begin this Perpetual Motion Taffy. Your left hand's under this elbow. The heel drops. You release the hip. Release the hip there. I'm blowing out so you can see where the exhale is. It's on the Taffy. But the hip turn is an inhale. Automatic. It's subtle, but I hope this helps to feel where you're connecting to the energy C, because there's this constant contraction there and then release that has to do with your core. And the energy C is what that is. Release. Release. And you don't have to make the breath that big, but that is a way of discovering it. Perpetual motion taffy. Notice how the hand that's on top moves down and the other hand moves up. The underneath hand moves up and the top hand here will move down, the one that's on the elbow. And that has a direct connection to the yin or insubstantial leg and back. This is a grounding hand and this is the insubstantial leg. Is that important to know? Only if it interests you. It's important to me because it interests me. I like it. It helps to connect the whole body to figure how the breath works with this. It's so cool. And that is the Chih. That's your intrinsic energy, and we're cultivating it all the way through this practice. Last pairing here. Let's end it here and then ground. Great stuff. All right. More water? Or are you okay? I'm going to take a couple more sips. We're on to the last part of the practice now. As soon as we start working the pulley, if this were a symphony, this is the end of the development section. Make sure you've got a lot of space around you. All right. And your left hand's moving forward. You're already bent a little bit. Your left foot is moving forward, and then it's going to move this way. So this is the pulley. I'm going to move back so you can see this a little better. I have to pivot my back foot and then pivot my front toe because I'm crossing the midline. Or if you look at my doors here, I'm crossing that center point. See that? So if you and I were doing this in partners, we would be going shoulder to shoulder as we bring this hip forward and back, and the other arm follows along for the ride. It's kind of a swim move. Now the elbow stays bent here as this arm comes back. And the other arm does exactly the same thing. It's just not dominant right now because it's not the dominant leg. So that breathing thing here would be exhaling and then inhaling back on your left side. Okay, and let's bring this back to center and ground. And then we'll do the other side. This hand now will be under the hip. This hand will be forward. This leg will be forward. This is all your right side now. And you're going to cross over like that. I'll go here so you can see the crack of my doors. Yeah, this is a real cross body move. You're crossing the midline right here. And now your right side is more conscious of controlling, if there's any control at all, the breath. But the dantian would be going, exhaling, and then inhaling back on that dominant leg, which is now your right and my left. I hope that makes sense. You can bring the forward leg back a little bit, just slide it back if you want to make a shorter shift forward and back. And sorry, I was talking to you, so I didn't realize I dropped my head. So keep the spine long without dropping the head, okay? It's really important. It's also important to have your chin parallel to the earth so that the whole spine is connected in a way that you can fully breathe. And let's do 2 more here. Last one. Working the pulley, absolutely stunning move, but takes time to figure out. Okay, and now we're moving into light at the top of the head, light at the temple. So we drop down, feet are in a V. We bring the palms overhead, and they're facing each other. And we drop down 3 times. Sink and rise. Come to the balls of the feet when you rise. And now hold the energy between the palms. They're in polarity. Breathe it in. And then mix the energy 6 to 9 times. Forward circles. Hold the energy. Drop it down. And rise up. Onto your balls of the feet. Bring the energy around the body and your left hand to the heart on the inhale. And release down with the palms. And then inhale up to the temples. This is called the temple. The energy is moving across the brain. Hold it for a moment to feel it. And then sink and rise. Now feel that energy for a moment. You're not touching your head at all, but you can feel something happening all the way across. Breathe into it. And now mix the energy across the brain by these forward circles. Hold it a moment just to enjoy it. And then sink and rise. Bring the energy all around the body. Left hand to the heart on the inhale. And slow exhale down for the grounding. Meanwhile, start bringing out that left leg, preparing for joyous breath. Let everything out. Joyous breath is a very yang or masculine, strong move. Come up to the balls of the feet on the inhale and exhaling down 4 times. Hear the heels drop. Only always soften the knees. Don't bend completely. Last group of 4. Good. Bring in that left foot. And ground again. As we prepare for passing clouds, feel the space between your feet as if you were on a horse, riding a horse. And then begin from this left side across. Feet are in a big V. Stay long in the spine so that as you do your side-to-side weight shift, you can also release the hip back here on the inhale. This is the mirror hand. You just don't follow it in this practice. Passing clouds. Even passing clouds is connecting everything through the midline. So feel that connection as you face forward and the body turns at the end. You don't have to follow even the mirror hand up here. And let's bring it all back now to your left leg and ground. Preparing for 6 healing sounds. The first is ho for the heart, hu for the spleen, tsu for the liver, which will be a side-to-side shift. Sh for the lungs, Chih for the triple heater, which is this 3-part breath also. And the last one is for the kidneys, and that's Chih, also a side-to-side shift. Watch the feet on this because you actually drop and lift. Your left foot, your left hand. There's your side to side. Shh. Shh. Another side to side. Last time. Five chewies. Heel step. Mix the energy, if you like, of yin and yang. And then bringing your left heel to your right ankle bone for cosmic consciousness pose. Bring the elbows right over this circle, and that'll make it easier to hold this up with your upper spine. The left hand is close to the heart. The thumbs are up. You can bring it up if you want to. Or you can bring it out a little bit if that's more comfortable. The elbows are evenly lifted if possible. Long spine. Bringing your tailbone so that you feel connected through the hold on chin area and grounded through your feet. One foot particularly, even though this looks like a straight leg, it is slightly bent. And the other leg is bent as it would be in tree pose for yoga. And you hold this, eventually 30 counts or 30 seconds. But that's good. Okay, now we're going to honor all of our teachers. You could just look up, not actually lifting your head if you like, or lifting your head, whatever works for you. And then this is for you as your own teacher, in gratitude for all of your personal work. And then for everyone who practices this beautiful energy practice with us of Tai Chi, Chih, thank you.